Have you ever heard this? If you have, listen.
Yo, T-Dubs, what's up, bro?
Dude. What uppers?
Yo, we were talking about hip hop coming in, dude. Well, this is fucking great conversation we're having.
Yeah.
Dude, you and just to like throw yourself out there to the listeners, what like you're old school. You're ATX OG hip hop, bro.
Foundation.
Yeah, bro.
I'm one of the bricks in the foundation.
Yes.
I am not the foundation.
Yeah.
I am a piece of the foundation.
One of the earlier seeds
There
in
were
the
some
soil.
there were some guys, a couple of guys, a couple of generations before me that were doing it, and like DJ Casanova, Papa Chuck, Quince. There was a lot of cats who was already out there known that I used to carry their records. And I used to go to their shows and be front row and, try to pose with them because they were like the hottest kids in high school. So I just took it to a next level. That's, that was like my thing. I just like made it more into a business instead of just rhyming in the parks all the time. I was like, this could actually be a thing. And there's a lot of people around here who are doing this thing. So let's take it to the next level.
Well, so like in hip hop in the 80s, bro, was like blooming in New York, right?
Yeah.
So like Austin was probably like a satellite of that, I would imagine, right, with the hip hop world. Because like what y'all were doing here was just.
Yeah, we were definitely like behind, right? Because we're in the South, no internet, none of all that to really reach out to people. So we had like, the break-in movies and Wild Style and those kind of like our intros. And we would go to, I don't know if y'all remember, there was a store called Spencer's. I think it's still around.
Spencer Gifts? Yeah.
Spencer's, yeah. And we'd go there and they would sell books on like hip hop slang. You know what I mean? Because that was the first time we would like go there and hear fresh, dope, whatever. And it had like B-boy moves in it and all that. But, we really kicked it up a notch when DJ Casanova, who I mentioned, moved here from New York. And he was around Grandmaster Flash and Kool Herc and all that. And he came down here and was like, started DJing parties. He brought the idea of pressing vinyl here. Because at that time, we were like pressing cassettes. We were doing that. And he was like, hey, there's this thing, mixtapes. And there's vinyl. And we were like, oh, interesting. Because to us, we thought you needed like $1 million to press up some vinyl.
Yeah.
But at that time, you can get a lot of vinyl really cheap, sell it higher, and, now you got you a label that's doing it.
Well, what you were saying about South Congress was totally like, I did not know how much was popping around here at a certain point with like, what did you say, Capitol?
Yeah,
So,
there was a lot of record labels down here. There was Capitol, Mercury, Polygram, Def Jam was here for a bit. They were out here like just looking for bands, picking them up, trying to find people. But the thing with us as artists, we didn't really understand the business component and what they were offering. So a lot of us who were young, we were already making money here doing shows. Like I was 15 and already selling out venues around Austin as a kid in my earlier rap group. So if a label comes and they're not offering me what I make on a Friday night, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I'm like, I'll pass on that. So a lot of us passed on those deals and was like, no, I don't want to be with Warner Brothers. I don't want to be with whatever. Tommy Boy and all that was happening then.
Was that something that you would have seen your predecessors doing? Because it seemed like from what you're
there
telling
weren't
us-
any, were there?
Well, there was a couple of guys before me, yeah. But the thing is, they came from, like I said, Casanova came from New York, and their thing was they press up their own vinyl. Nobody was out searching for record deals. You know what I mean? Nobody was like, I need to be on a label, because everybody was just doing it. Like I said, it was real punk rock.
It was like hustle culture, dude.
You make your own cover, you press it up, you get about 100 pieces of vinyl, you go out and you hit the streets, and, you do your things. When the labels came, we kind of frowned on them, like, y'all are trying to steal, kind of like the same thinking today with artists, right? You're kind of trying to steal what we're doing, and I was a little bit more knowledgeable. I knew about publishing, I knew a little bit about contracts, and so I was like, they're not really talking nothing. And and I'm a kid, I'm already making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing shows, and you want me to give you 75% of what I'm already making just so I can say I'm on Def Jam?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Dude.
So I had my own label called Poor Boy Records. That was my first label I made.
Because it seems to me that your predecessors and the folks that came before you would have jumped at that opportunity.
Oh yeah,
some of them at least.
Yeah, yeah. If anybody kind of if you're living in a city and you could throw a rock and hit a major label and they're actively looking for bands, many people would have jumped on it. But I was lucky that the guys above me, Casanova and all them, they came from New York where the labels where they saw people doing it themselves.
They
So when they got here,
gave you the warning.
yeah. So when they got here, they were like, you can do this yourself. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You just got to have that drive to like follow through and make good songs and.
Well, yeah, a lot of artists though, and especially great artists, aren't really good at that business part.
No.
Right.
They're not. Like, and if you're really great, there's somebody else that handles the business part, and you just are the artist.
Right.
But it's like,
But then you're losing a part of what you've made because you're giving it away to this other
the
entity.
business part isn't the sexy part. So nobody ever wants to talk about it. Nobody ever wants to deal with it. So a lot of artists sign these contracts. Like I said, I worked with Arista, right? And so a lot of artists would sign these contracts where they're giving away all their rights. They're giving away everything. And then 5-10 years later, you see them online talking about, I was tricked into that deal and my legal counsel didn't advise me right. But you knew what you were signing. You just wanted the quick fame. You want the quick put on.
Yeah.
And so you're willing to sacrifice all that.
well, and it's that inherent, like, suspicion of the man, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that the hip hop community, that's built in as a
100%.
default, bro.
100%.
So,
100%.
like, it's like, yo, side eye, like, what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
So, but it's like, to be ahead of the curve like that, bro, that's cool, man.
Yeah, you just got to surround yourself with people that are actually doing it, right? Not Googlers. Like a lot of people give you Google information and act like they're a specialist in it. But when you sit there with people who are actually in the music industry who've had bad deals, who've been executives, you move in a different way. When I got my deal with Good Vibes, which was going through Interscope, they wanted to sign me as an artist, and I was working at Arista Records at the same time. So I said, no, I want an album, not just a single. And I want to have a label deal, not be signed as an artist. And the reason I said that was if I'm signed as an artist, if something happens to that label, I'm stuck. I can't move. They control that asset, which is my music. But if I have a label deal, I could put into my contract that if there's a disruption within my distribution, within my royalty payments, then I can leave. My artist can leave. I take everything with me. And that's what happened because they were trying to go to another label. They still had a previous debt. And Slum Village, where Jay Dilla had signed, Bahama-D, a lot of artists were there. And they were kind of stuck as artists because they signed as artists. I was the only one who could leave because I had a label deal.
I'm curious, though, as an artist, when you get into the business side of things, how do you feel about that in terms of what it does for you creatively? And does it because it sometimes can feel like that you have to sacrifice a little on the creative side of things to be able to push forward the business side properly. And it's I feel like it's like almost like an artistic kind of like just
Almost a
dilemma.
compromise.
Yeah, just like
Right.
that you have in that. Do you feel that with what you do, or how do you?
I don't
how
think
do
so.
you, like,
Because with me, I came up a little bit different, right? Where it was kind of like I needed both. So I never looked at one being pulling the other, right? Like my business savvy doesn't mean that my music has to suffer. And my music, doesn't have to suffer to get the best business deal. I can still be 100% authentic in the music I make because there's tons of people who will love that. And there's tons of ways, like with sync and film and all the other stuff I'm doing.
Okay.
And still be very business savvy to negotiate the best situation for me long term and for other artists and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely unique in that I'm able to like straddle both of those. And, I know a lot of people can't do that. And that's where they sign those deals and they're like, you handle the business.
Right.
You do that. I give you an extra percentage, whatever. And I'll just be over here and make music and be really cool at Zillow.
yeah, and that's how you get fucked over
All the time.
when you take your eye off the ball, bro.
All the time.
Because people, and you see it all the time too, bro. Dude, Tim Duncan, bro, got fucked over.
Yep.
Like that. I think it's just you take your eye off especially if you're really starting to rake
You
in.
get comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get comfortable. Like labels, that's the trick of the advance with a label. They give you the advance. Now you're comfortable. Now you can pay bills. Now you can take care of your kid. Now you can do whatever. But you got to recoup that. You got to pay that back. And when it's time to pay the reaper back, you haven't sold enough albums. You got to stay on the road forever. Like George Clinton, right? He has all those albums, but he sold all those rights away. So now he's 90-something or whatever and still touring.
Bro, that's fucking crazy.
But he has enough albums that are like in commercials, movies, synced, whatever. People have done covers of his
I would
albums.
think
And
residuals
he-
at this point would be able to enough to live off. No,
Well, it's
But
the
he
system,
doesn't
yeah.
own those albums, you know what I mean? So he
So he
only
doesn't-
owns like maybe 2 of his 30 albums.
so once you sell those rights, you don't even get residuals.
No.
bro.
Because it's not your music anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And there are companies that go around specifically looking for catalogs of old artists and saying, look, I'll give you $100,000 because you're old. I don't have any money. Here's $100,000 for your whole catalog. And then they take that catalog and go do sync film, go do covers, and they start generating new revenue off the catalog that was just sitting there.
Yeah, because they have the means and resources to do that, to like go, yeah. That's a lot of like what gets put, like I was talking about like hip hop, what people think hip hop is and what hip hop really is, and it's two different things.
100%.
Because the headline of hip hop, like a lot of people have a negative, and like I feel, Kai, you're not a big hip hop guy, right?
No, when I got started as a musician, I was very much in like the metal world,
Right.
like Metallica, Megadeth, Death, like
I love all those, man.
fantastic. But it was being in that world. It was also like you listen to metal and nothing else. You're a metalhead, and you have to break out of that and realize like, oh, there's other genres of music that are very good.
Well, and it's like what draws you to the music, right? Because to me, it's the message in the music first and foremost, and then the music also. It's like there's the marriage of those two things. It can't, and great music, and that's what like Drake is. If I shit on him, but it's like that's what it's like. It's good listenability, but there's nothing in it like
Really
to
of
take
substance.
out of it.
It's commercial.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, but that's what people think hip hop is,
Yeah.
and there is also good, what I would call quote unquote like Kendrick is mainstream as it gets at this
Right.
point. And he's maintained his, I think, integrity mostly. I would say, right? Would you agree with that?
I would.
And so, but to do that, J. Cole's another one. That's where my respect lies, because it's like, dude, hip hop is just, it's like I said, it's poetry, bro. But it's like it's a philosophy of a different world and a different.
Yeah, and as the music industry shrinks and there's only fewer labels, then all the next Kendricks and the next Talib Kweli's and the next aren't going to be seen and heard because, like Universal and all them, they own part of Spotify. So when you go to Spotify, you're going to see their artists on the playlist. You're going to see their artists pushed to the top. So independent artists need to find new ways of reaching fans that don't involve those mechanisms because those aren't beneficial to anybody.
How do you feel about services like DistroKid and CD Baby for independent artists?
They're cool, you know what I mean? Like, but you could do that yourself, right? We all got the same internet. You know what I mean? So you can make your website. If you say you have, you see so many artists who say, I got fans, I'm whatever. Where they at? Reach out to them and get them to go buy your stuff directly. You don't send them to Spotify, just so you can say, I'm on Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, every year Spotify sends out the end of year thing for artists, right? You see like, I got new listeners in, Nigeria and Australia. That means nothing. In marketing, that's a vanity.
Yeah.
A vanity flex. It's to make you feel good and forget that you're getting robbed.
Yeah.
And it does seem like more and more people are aware of the idea of like a label screwing over an artist, and like that's not a camp that you want to get into.
Right.
But there's still that feeling of I want to be part of the club. I want to be on Spotify. I want to be on Apple Music.
Labels, what they still use the pixie dust factor, where they'll find an artist who know that this is a bad deal. I'm not making any money. I'm getting 0.000 cents of a penny. But they'll put the pixie dust and say, but we'll give you a little promotion. We'll put your video out there. And they fall for it. They're like, great. But they're still a barista at a coffee shop. They're still bagging groceries at HEB. They're still doing hella weeklies, right? Like when I was coming up, I was like, what can I do now? I made 5-year plans. And I was like, what can I do now? So by the time I turn 30, I'm doing this. By the time I'm 25, I'm this. By the time I'm 40, I'm this. By the time I'm 50, I'm this. And that's how I operate. I never just, sat in the moment like, I'm the best rapper in Austin. Everybody loves me. And that's cool. Because there's next year. There's next year. There's next year. There's next year.
It's always what's coming. What's the 5 years down the line. And that's something that we've heard from a lot of other artists that we've had on the cast, that it is about that goal setting and seeing where you're gonna be
and
at.
the follow through. Like you can make those plans, but how are you following through on those?
Well, and
What's
it's
your next
how
step?
you're falling through is small wins, bro. Like it's like the that's where it's like it's the combination, because you do want to have the 5-year plan, but you also got to worry about today.
Yeah.
Right. So like to me,
And
the
what you're
small
gonna
win,
do to
if you
get
focus
there,
on the small wins and then put the big wins on, like know what the map is, and then go, okay, now the map is set. And once it's set, then it's small wins.
And but you still got to be smart about those small wins, right? Because you can make a small decision today that can fuck you for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It makes that 5-year decision harder because you did that dumb shit that was a quick payday.
Right.
Like, if you're, let's say for sake of conversation, if you're performing in Austin and like me, I got 2 Grammy nominations, whatever. And then they book me for a show and I say, you know what? I'll do that show for $100. I'll hook you up. Promoters talk. So now other promoters know I did it for $100.
Yeah.
So if I go to them and say, no, I want $1,500, but you just did it for,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So now that small win, that small little bitty thing fucks up the
Yeah.
rest of what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Like a
you gotta be
spot
very
for 100.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So you got to be
Yeah.
very intentional
Yeah.
with what you're trying to do. And, and I learned that early on, and I've been able to stick to that where I can tell, saying no is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
I can tell promoters, no, I'm good. Somebody
Yeah.
out for a deal, I'm good.
Well, and here's where I'm going to get all, philosophical here. That is the small win, right? Is that you knew to say no, right? Because to me that's the thing. It's the discernment of what is the right decision today is the win today.
Right. Yeah.
So I made the right decision. So yeah. So I think we're on the same page in that
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
Because it's like
100%.
focus with the. Because I think you're totally right. Like you shouldn't say yes to everything, bro.
Right.
Like that's actually the recipe for getting it's like you don't want to saturate anything.
Right.
And if you do, you're gonna people are gonna there is some value in the limited availability factor, right?
I call it the Prince effect.
Yeah.
Because Prince is a huge megastar, and he would pop in at a show, sit in, and then he would vanish. And everybody like, did you see Prince? Prince was here. Prince, and it creates this myth and this mystery.
Like a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah, but if everybody can see you all the time, then it's going to be hard for you to get the big shows. Because they're like, why do I have to pay him that much when I could just see him Tuesday at C-Boys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I could just see him somewhere else. So even myself, I'll take some days off where I don't go out and I don't rhyme. I'll just skip
Yeah.
a couple of weeks. I'll just chill. And then I pop up, get busy, disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just keep the
Well, and sometimes
viability
you
of
got to
what I'm
go to the
doing.
lab, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens across all performing arts.
100%.
Really. Like music especially, but I would point to Chappelle as a fantastic example in comedy.
Yeah.
Of just being able to step back. And I think too that is a path to avoiding being too comfortable with where you're at.
Yeah.
Because especially with how long you've been doing this,
Yeah.
I can imagine you've run into walls of burnout or writer's block where it's just this is a lot.
Yeah.
How do you avoid that?
And that's an
sort of
interesting
circumvent
question.
it?
Writer's block as a freestyle hip hop artist.
Yeah. Well,
Because that's real time writer's block.
Yeah. It's like, well, when I came up, freestyling was like something you had to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you can't freestyle? Like, okay, you could write a dope rap because you could sit down for an hour and write a good song. You can take that hour and use the right words and the right cadence and put it down on paper. But in the moment, can you pull that off? And a lot of people can't. That's why you have a lot of dope rappers, and they get on stage and it's time to freestyle, and they're like, yo, for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're like, I'm good. Because they haven't kept that skill sharp.
Yeah.
But that's how I came up. So when I go to C-Boys or I go to the homies or whatever, I've been doing that my whole life. So that's nothing for me to get up there and, when I used to do Boombox with Groove Line, we were talking about earlier, those were like 3-hour shows. You know what I mean? With like a little, rhyme and perform for like an hour and a half, have a little break, another hour and a half of just freestyles. So that's nothing for me to get up there and do that. Nothing for Trey God to get up there and do that. So that's a very unique skill. So there's really no writer's block in there because your inspiration in freestyling is everything around you. When you're writing songs, you're in your bedroom, right? You're limited to what you see every day. You're at the coffee shop, you're whatever. You need to sit down and do that. But when you're freestyling, you're like, that mic, it's hat. It's endless possibilities of where your mind, and and I always tell people, I think of freestyling as time traveling, right? Because I'm rhyming right now in the present, but I'm thinking of the end of the rap in the future to go back into the past to finish the rap I'm doing in the present. You see what I'm saying?
Seeing the pathway there and
Yes.
what you
I
need to
think
do to
I know
close
what
it
you just
out.
said.
Yeah.
Yes. Because when I'm freestyling, I'm really fast. There are times where I go really fast. So my mind is downloading data super fast. So I'm like way in the future thinking of how I'm going to end this rap. So if I'm rapping and saying something, I see somebody with a cool hat, I'm already thinking of how I'm going to end on that.
Yeah.
While
But here's
I'm
the
saying
thing.
this.
Here's the thing too, yo. That's not the first time you've seen a dude with a cool hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what the audience doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like These bars come from places where I've been, and
but then you make it real personable.
Yeah.
Like you say what that hat is.
Yeah.
The colors within that hat. The name on that hat. So that way, because it's like people think of like freestyle like, magic, sleight of hand, right? Like, I've seen 1,000 hats, so I can just rhyme hat with whatever.
Right.
And point at a guy with a hat and they're like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
But if I say his hat is Spurs and boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
and they looking like, oh, damn, okay, that's fly.
Yeah.
That's the real trick.
we getting funkin'.
That's fly.
Sitting here talking about Tim Duncan.
You know what I'm saying? There you go. That's how it starts, man.
Bro, I write like rhymes all the time. I don't ever. I'm like that guy that's like I always think about going up and doing stand up and never do it.
Right.
But for me, it's because I do obviously do stand up. But like hip, because it's like there is a I respect and admire. Because people will say this to me, bro, as a stand up, and I'm like, whatever. And I know you feel the same way as a hip hop dude.
Yeah.
But from where I sit, it's that same thing where it's like I respect because there is that, what happens if the blank comes, because you're like, oh, but like, have you had that happen? And if you have, what's the pro move to do there in your mind?
Well, with rhyming, with freestyle, I tell a lot of people like listen to other music and rap and freestyle along with other music, right? Get out your like. Sometime on Sundays, I'll freestyle over Coltrane, Miles, whatever other styles. I could put on,
I fucks with that.
Metallica or whatever, and I freestyle over that, right? So if I'm somewhere and I'm freestyling, they're playing a regular hip hop beat, and I stumble, I go into jazz mode and I'm off beat.
Yes. Okay.
On beat. So that gives me a millisecond to collect my thoughts.
Yeah.
But the crowd is seeing me just vibe real quick. But I'm reset,
Yeah.
and now I'm back in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you learn different styles and you train a lot and you train your mind like that, when you have a stumble, because I've done it on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? I've been up there and I'll be like, but then I offbeat.
Well, and
I'm back into it.
and I can say that from an audience member perspective, like same thing with like unless you've got a real ear for it, like most of those guys in Groove Line, if they do fuck up, which is rare, rare.
Yeah.
But most people don't even catch it
Yeah.
because it's like and that I would call that the same thing with you, like as far as that, because I don't ever feel like I've heard it noticeably have a blip. It'd kind of be like a musician kind of like getting off beat a second,
And you keep going. Like when you do have those blips, you keep going.
Yeah.
Like the minute you stop is when it becomes noticeable.
Yeah.
It's not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you stop and you're like, oh, and everybody's like, oh, he fell off. But if you stop, pause, okay, now I'm back in it, and you just keep going and going and going, especially when I'm rapping really, really fast, then I can have a mess up in there, but I'm still going so fast that flew by so quick. Nobody even noticed it.
I think too, as an audience member, especially in a freestyle context, you see that and it becomes even more impressive because it's sort of a peek behind the curtain of like this is happening in real time. He's 100%. Not just going off of something he's sat
100%.
in.
Like when I get booked shows now, I get booked like to do freestyle exhibitions. I don't even get booked to do any of my songs, except for the stuff that I've done like in like Breaking Bad or certain songs that are in movies and TV. I'll be like, can you do that song? But other than that, it's like, can you come freestyle for like 40 minutes? Like we want to see that. It's like,
yeah. Wait, can we back up? Did you say you had some stuff in Breaking Bad?
Yeah, man.
That's pretty sick.
I love it, dude. I love just the children. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
It's great. That's fucking dope as fuck, dude. That's to me, bro. Yeah. But I mean that specifically, weirdly, like I think Bill Burr too. In a lot of ways, he wasn't as known, and then he was in Breaking Bad, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, Breaking Bad was probably my biggest placement so far because I've had a bunch, but that show was so big. And it's still big, and it's still played, and my publishing from that is lovely. Like,
I bet.
And that placement was like a weird, the way it happened. You know what I mean? Like I had a friend who was doing sync. She ran a sync company, and she hit me up and was like, "They like this song you did. It was on an album I did called The Growth, which came out in 2004."
Yeah.
Right. And they said we like this song. And so they wanted to use it on Breaking Bad in 2010.
So you got in early.
So that gives you an idea of how old the song was to when they wanted to use it. And they're like, they want to use this song. I was like, which song? They were like, it's called Bringing It Back. So I perform it sometime. And I didn't even remember what that song sounded like. So I said, play that song for me over the phone. She played it, and I was like, okay, cool. Like whatever. And, they wanted to offer X amount of dollars. But how they messed up was they assumed, because I'm from Austin, that I would accept the money. So they took my song and already ran it through the machine and had it synced to the picture. They already had it ready to air.
Yeah.
So since they did that, that changes the rules. Because I didn't agree for them to do that yet. So then I changed the rules, said, no, I don't want that. I want publishing. I want mechanicals. I want all these other things that they were given to CeeLo, that they were given to, everybody else. So I was able to get that type of deal that, if they put it, if it's streaming in hotels, that's a different way of getting paid. Netflix, that's a different way. If people are buying the box set in stores, I'm getting paid off that. So I included all that within my deal.
Kids, take notes.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, and
fucking
that,
great.
And that sync was 2010 and is 2025 now, and I'm still getting publishing from
Bro, yeah. Dude,
So
I mean, you've seen Breaking
Oh
Bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
where do you rate it in your all-time
it
series?
is, if not number one, it's in the top 3.
Where
for
do you rate it?
sure.
I know you've seen it, right?
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen it? Oh,
I've seen
dude.
one
It's good.
season.
Damn.
it's good.
Bro,
And this was season 4, episode 1, so that was the first time I even watched Breaking Bad. I had never even heard of the show till they wanted to use my song. So the first time I saw the show was the night it aired with my song in it.
Bro.
I didn't even know what that show was.
What do you know the episode number it was?
It was episode 1
Of
season 4.
Season 4,
Yeah.
episode 1.
I'm not sure what the name. The show might. I'm not.
I feel like I'm gonna go back later. I want to find that and
I think-
push that on this.
Well, the scene.
I was like, that's great.
I can tell you exactly what the scene was.
I think I know the episode.
The scene was where what's his name, Walt. He was at home. He wasn't at home, and the neighbor came over and saw his car, and was talking to his wife, and was like, "Tell him I said hi" or whatever. And she thought, he was gone. So she's walking through the house looking for him. Their son is in his room with his headphones on, playing my track.
Yeah.
So as they're walking down the hallway, it's like playing my shit for maybe like 30, 40 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Like walk through the house like that. So it's that particular scene.
Yeah.
You can hear it like T-Double bringing it back, like the whole shit. It was live to watch it in real time when it aired. You know what I mean? Because I was watching the whole show like, that doesn't sound like my song. That part doesn't sound, waiting
You're
for it.
keeping an ear
Then all of
out
a sudden
for
I was
it.
like, there it is. And I was like,
Dude.
cha-ching.
Did they tell you the the context that they were going to use it in? Like, oh, we're going to be using it in this scene. This is what they're doing.
They just said they want to use a particular track on that episode, and I was like, whatever. After we negotiated the deal, I was like, they could do what they want to do with it. But the way I negotiated that was I made it a non-exclusive deal. Most TV shows want 100% ownership of the track, right? Mine was non-exclusive. So I was able to take that same song, bringing it back, and sync it to Rick and Morty, season 7 and season 8. So I was able to keep using that same song. I probably synced that song.
Bro,
maybe
I didn't know
5
you've been
times.
so much dope shit, dude. It's fucking great.
Yeah, I probably synced that song maybe 5 times, the same song, because I own 100% of it. I mix it, I produce it, master it, all that stuff. And then I negotiate my deals to be non-exclusive,
Well, and it's
so I
also-
can keep owning it.
That also it's almost like it gives its credit within like, oh, hey, remember that thing on Rick and Morty? Like, can we let's relicense
And
that
that's
again?
what Breaking Bad was. The
Yeah.
minute the Breaking Bad episode dropped, people were Shazamming it. Everybody
Yeah.
was talking. So then all the supervisors started hitting me and was like, we want a better version of that. Because, on the TV, they kind of had it muffled like it's in its headphones or whatever. They were like, we want another version of it. And they heard that and they were like, you want to put that on Rick and Morty? Of course. You want to put that in this movie? Of course. You want to put it in Roller Girls on A&E? Of course. You want to put it on Charmed on CW? Of course.
The thing is, if you hadn't modified the
love it, dude. It's
contract
fucking
so you
great.
had those exclusive rights,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had any of those opportunities. You would have just
None.
been locked
If I
into
just said
Breaking
exclusive,
Bad.
because some people get a sync option and they'll do all exclusive. Like you can have it, just give me the $500, $1,000.
Yeah.
Never that. Like I negotiate everything. Like this could be a big show, like this could be a big thing. So I do non-exclusive, and then because I did that, I was able to take the same song from 2004 and just sync, 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 sync. And then I have so much other music that I just put that in other shows. And when I get offers like, from like Transformers or whatever, I can negotiate all different types of deals in that. So
Yeah.
the sync world is like the last place in the music business where there's still big money. It's not in touring, it's not in merch, it's not in streaming. Sync is what it is. A trailer like Superman, right? We're gonna go to class, kids. Like Superman. Like the trailer for Superman, that can be like $250,000 for a term of 3 to 4 months, however they promote to the movie drops. But if you get in the movie, that might be $50,000. So
Yeah.
sometimes the trailer is more valuable than actually being in the movie. So once you start learning those options, you're not so rushing to be in the movie. Let me get that trailer.
Yeah.
Let me get a snippet in that trailer.
I feel like Gary's done that with something too.
I don't know if Gary's had. I'm sure he has, but
I've like heard, I just hear it and I'm like, oh shit. Like, but every time that's like the Cha-ching.
Even with commercials, right? Like the more knowledgeable, like if I get a Pepsi commercial, I can negotiate that to be like a radio spin, so to speak. So every time you see that commercial, I'm getting paid because you'll see commercials, the new vanilla Pepsi, 10 times a day, for 3 months. I can get paid every time you see that commercial.
Yeah.
Multiplied by however
What about
many
Crystal
channels
Pepsi
it's
though?
on.
Can you get paid on a Crystal Pepsi?
Yeah, you get paid on all that. All checks cashed the same.
This might be a
write that
bit
on a
of
fucking t-shirt.
A technical situation at least, but going back to the trailers,
Yeah.
let's say you sync a piece of your music to Superman, let's say. Like it's in the movie.
Right.
But for the trailer, they use a clip that includes your music, and it's now in the trailer as well.
Right.
How does that change things?
Well, that could be 2 paychecks, right? Which of course they don't want. So they want to negotiate a bigger flat fee for both usages. Like one movie, it was called The Likes that came out. I think Kevin Spacek or somebody was the executive producer of it. And they took my song's in there twice, but they took one song and cut it in half for 2 separate scenes. That one song became 2 separate syncs now. Instead of them just paying me for one usage, now it's 2. So there's so many ways you can negotiate that, whereas a record label, there's a framework. You have to release an album. Here's the territory for which you can do it. Here's the money to make that record. Whereas sync, I can say, I'll give you 12% of that instead of 50%. Or how about if I do a deal where I just get the publishing and I don't want any cash, right? And it's endless how you do it, but you got to know that those options exist and know that you're able to ask for it. Because all they can do is say no and just say, no, we just want to give you $2,000. And if you need that $2,000 and that's your first way into it, you could take that $2,000. And especially if it's a song like, sometimes I sync instrumentals that I have on my hard drive that I'm never going to release. I make music all day that I'm never going to release. So yeah, I'll sell that for $20,000. Go ahead, you had it.
Yeah, bro.
It's so interesting because they're not. There's no obligation for them to tell you the rules of the game.
Right.
It's just on their beck and call.
Yeah.
And it hurts them if you do know the rules of the game.
100%.
You always got to assume they want to try to fuck you.
100%.
That's what it is.
100%.
Because guess what? They do. So
They definitely
if you let them, and some people, there's 3 camps. I think there's the people that are like that. There's the people that know that and like, fuck me, And then there's the people that are just oblivious and get fucked.
Yeah.
So you definitely, that's the third one. You definitely don't want to be that one. But
I mean, that kind of happened to the kid that made the beat for Old Town Road, right?
Yeah, Lil Nas X. Yeah,
Yeah,
his producer. Yeah, and 'cause with Lil Nas X, like he bought the track off of like SoundCloud or something for like $50.
Yeah.
And then it became big, and then the label picked it up, and they put Billy Ray Cyrus on it, and then the producer came back and was like, "I want publishing, I want royalties, right?" And he was able to get a payoff. Like he didn't get royalties, he didn't get sustainable revenue. He got like a flat check, but it's like he got lucky because you sold that beat exclusively to Lil Nas X. You gave him that beat for $50. You're out of it. You're done. You just didn't think long term that was going to be a hit. That's why I say every interaction needs to have that thought in your mind, like this could be that one. Because if he had thought that and said, okay, I'll sell it to you for 50, but also want 10% because I produced or whatever, like, because the record's not doing nothing right now, what's that going to hurt? And then when it blows, he'd have been a millionaire.
bro,
And that's a small percentage to even ask for at that point, right? Just give me 5%, give me 10% of this whole pot.
That must be just such a gut punch to the young producers out there who, because there are millions of them, I'm sure, just making beats and selling them. And of course, for a long time, like it's just kind of how the world works, where you have to put your dues in, and you're not going to get you're not going to get your flowers for a while. So you definitely start looking at those interactions.
They start leasing beats, and they doing. And then when you start doing that, you're getting really into dangerous territory because you're giving up a lot of rights. You're not negotiating it properly. You're just, you're trying to make a quick $100 for 10 beats, which even sounds insane, but people are doing that.
I mean,
I've never done that. I'm like, since when I started making beats, my price has always been high. It's never dropped. When the economy dipped, my price still was high. I kept it consistent because I felt my quality was consistent. So I wasn't going to say, I'm going to give you a banging ass beat, but I'm going to charge you way down here for it. You're still going to have to pay that hard price. And if you can't afford it, then I just don't sell the beats. Like, I'd rather not sell it than cut it low.
Well, and it helps to be in a position clearly where you've got enough of a infrastructure that you don't need any one thing.
Right.
You're not relying on any one thing, because if you're operating from a position of leverage like that, then you're like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
And
surrounding yourself with people who are really smart and really, like, you know, when I talked to Quincy Jones, I had talked to Quincy Jones, and he was like, look, man, he said, what you need to do, surround yourself with 5 people who are brilliant, amazing, but don't do what you do. So
I like that as like
your conversation elevates.
Yeah.
Because if you sit around with rappers all day, you're just going to talk about rapping.
yeah.
You're not going to talk about business. You're not going to talk about infrastructure. You're not going to talk about coding. You're not going to be talking about AI. You're not going to be talking about any of those other things. So you got to have a group around you who do amazing things in their field, so you can kind of, because everything relates, right? If you build a house, if somebody's, you know, a construction worker, you got to lay that foundation. You got to put the beams. You got to put this. You got to check the studs. You got the same thing with the industry, right? You got to have those same things in place in the music industry to be successful as well, to build a sturdy house upon, or that shit will just fall over.
Well, dude, and kudos to you for like fucking knowing that early on. Like just like operating with that mentality at like the jump. Because like, I think you're right, dude. Like, and a lot of people are just out here. They're like, the thing I say always is like, it's show business, but it should probably more be business show. Because it's like business is always before the show.
Yeah.
And if you're like not paying attention, bro, like, because and that's like great artists, like I said, like a lot of times, because when you're really, really great, people will line up to do 100%, shit for you.
100%.
And you'll be like, okay, you know,
but it's harder
and when
too.
you're confident. Yeah, it's definitely harder, but you got to be very self-aware. Know your skill level, authentically know it. Like, don't oversell yourself in the trash, right? You got to be like, I'm at this level and I want to get better, but this is where I am right now. So let's talk, let's build upon this. And only surround, like, you know, when I see artists who have like managers, managing what? What are they managing? Like, you're not making any money, you're not getting any shows, you're not managing what? You're just giving a percentage.
Their cut.
Yeah, you're just giving percentage of your tip jar to some guy or gal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, work hard, build your own thing, so when people come, like you said, then you can negotiate better situations and better deals. Like, I was working at Arista, I was able to negotiate a better deal over there. When I got the Grammy nominations, I was able to negotiate a better deal on how to do all that stuff. So
well, and it sounds like, bro, you're still hustling, bro.
Yeah,
You're still out here.
Still on it, man.
There's still stuff to be done.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's the work is never done, really, ultimately.
And, you know, and now, you know, I'm still doing my own thing, but I'm also like educating other artists, right? Because I hate to see artists making the same mistakes that I could have made at 14, 13, right? Like, I'm like, own your shit. Do this. Like, I think artists have the fear of talking about ownership, because they're like, if I own it all, nobody's going to want to help me, because then I seem like I'm hoarding all my stuff. But you got to have that thought in your mind, because if you own it, then you know how to break that pie up to do different things where you still retain ownership of it, but you're still giving some away to help move your thing up a little bit.
You can control it more directly, and you're not leaving it in the hands of someone else.
Yeah. Like I say, Prince should be taught in a college. His whole career should be taught as a class. 100% as a class.
He is a great case study on how to, the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
That's such a great fucking.
Yeah.
Well, him and the Beatles. I
Yeah.
mean, like they had a whole thing where it was just, you know, trying to get the rights back to their own music.
Yeah. You know, because that, you know.
Because Michael Jackson owned it?
Yeah. With the Beatles, right? It's like the fact that they didn't own their music and they didn't have a majority stake in the shares was why Michael Jackson was able to come in and buy it from up under them. And think about it. At that point, the Beatles were still, you know, today, still mega huge, generating millions of dollars. Yeah. So that lets you know that their royalties percentage on their songs was very small, because they sold all those records but couldn't even buy their own stuff. That's that's heartbreaking.
It shows, what they were really making for being the biggest band on the planet.
And Paul McCartney just started hating Michael Jackson after that. It was like his arch enemy after that. But Paul McCartney is the one that told Michael Jackson about publishing. That's the rub. He told Mike, "Hey, you know, you should buy catalogs. That's where the money is. Buy old catalogs, get publishing." Mike was like, "Okay, I'll take the Beatles."
It's like, good advice. I'll take your entire stock.
I'll take all your stuff. Dude, yeah, I'll take all your stuff.
That's an epic. Like, that's like Kobe teaching Reggie Miller his move, and then Reggie Miller using it against him in the finals,
exactly
dude.
what it was.
Or I mean, I'm sorry, when Reggie teaching Kobe his move, and Kobe using it against Reggie in the finals.
I think Paul McCartney said it was during the time where they were doing that song "Say Say Say." You remember that song? it was during that time where they were like really buddy
Say.
Yeah, they was really buddy buddies. And he was like, man, you know what you should get into, Michael? What's that? You should get into like, publishing catalogs. And I'm doing it. It's really great, because he's thinking, he's the Beatles and he's just Michael. But Michael had damn near $1 billion at the time.
Michael.
Yeah. And so he went in and outbid him. Like, because Paul McCartney was bidding on it too. They were bidding at the same time.
No shit.
Yeah, so Paul McCartney was trying to get it and Michael was like an unknown bidder.
Bro.
And then Michael
I had
way more
no
money and bought it.
idea
Yeah.
that whole thing went down like that because I knew that I obviously knew he had them, but dude, that's fucked. Like you would think like Michael's did a great job of putting out that image of this wholesome dude that I just care about. And then it's like you do some shit like that, you're like, you look at a guy now, you're like,
okay, this is what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Michael,
now I'm a little less convinced that you didn't.
Yeah, Michael was owning like some of Elvis Presley's catalog. Like he was like he had a whole publishing arm that was just generating so much money while he's being a big huge star himself.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. Then he got murdered by his own doctor. It's crazy.
Wild. I'll be right back.
Yeah, dude. Man, so that's I appreciate, dude. Like everything, like because I feel like I'm getting an education right now with all this. And there's some stuff I actually want to talk to you, but not on the pod. I'll talk with you later. But yeah, man. I mean, like to speak on that, what you're saying, I appreciate that mindset, dude. Of like trying to like, hey, I've got this thing, and like I want to help others understand. Because really, we don't have, like, we only have like each other in the artist community,
right?
And like that's the family is the artist community, and so it's like, being able to like support or just like help. And honestly, bro, you're just very present here today, bros. I appreciate it because it's the I'm collaborating with people to like because I believe in certain like I see that I'm like yes these and that's not necessarily everyone, dude. Some people get successful and they become fucking dickheads,
Yeah.
Like you're like,
because I looked at it like I'm from Austin, Texas. I'm from the east side of Austin. I'm from when the east side was like the hood before gentrified, right? Where young folks like me weren't really supposed to make it past 18. Young black kids weren't supposed to make it past 18. And for me to come out there and be successful, I feel like if I leave and I don't help anybody else become successful, then I'm the asshole. I dropped the ball. You know what I mean? Because I can't rely on the city to make sure that all these underserved artists get the funding and the respect and the knowledge they need. It's not going to happen that way. It hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So if I was to move, then I'd be letting everybody down here. And that, like I said, like I was telling you earlier, that's why people start calling me the hometown kid, right? Because it's like I could bounce.
Yeah.
Like I could have worked for, LaFace when they had Outkast TLC when it was starting because I was working at Arista. Arista was the umbrella company. We had LaFace, Bad Boy, Rowdy, all that up under there. And I didn't leave. I stayed here. I was like, I'm hometown first. Like I want the town to blow. Yeah. So when I got my deal with Good Vibes, which was through Interscope, and it was a label deal, I specifically negotiated the label deal so I could come back and sign my childhood friends.
Bro.
And that's what I did. So when I got my deal, we dropped my album. It created the buzz. It was billboards. It was in The Source. It was in Vibe. It was everywhere. I came back and signed my friend Mirage, who I've known since I was 13. I got my other friend Trent, who I've known since I was 13, to be my tour DJ. I gave Mirage a label, helped him create his label. He went to Prairie View and signed some artists. Like, that's how you build.
Yeah.
It ain't always about just you being the only person shining in the room.
Well, dude, I appreciate it because I've heard a lot of times like where people will say like you should surround yourself with like or rather they say this. I'm sorry, the 5 people you surround yourself with the most are like what you end up.
Right.
And so
True. I've heard that.
What you were talking about, I'm like that makes sense to like because for him and I with like this cast, like it's like he's got skill sets that I don't have, and I've certainly got skill sets that he doesn't have.
Right.
And so, but together, like we. You help each other where it's like we can all complement each other in ways.
How it should be.
And it's that's how you build something cool because you're like, you need to believe you can do this shit alone is a joke. It's a fucking joke. Yeah. Like
it's a myth.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and if you're trying to build something cool and it's like, that's why like I invite people like you, bro, to do this today, man, because like, it's like, it's not just that what you've done. It's like, I think you're fucking cool. Like, I think it starts there to me.
100%. It's like you were saying earlier, right? Like if you're authentic in what you're doing and you're putting your heart into it and you're working and you're busting your ass, the stars always align. That's what I always say. Yep. But will you be ready when that moment hits, when the stars line up? Will you have done all that pre-work So when that moment hits, you're skyrocket.
Got to be ready for
And
the
if
opportunity.
you miss
always.
that, can you recover and
Right.
come back
that's
and
the
do it
hardest
again?
part, and that's the hardest part. So as long as you're staying working and you're like, okay, we're doing the podcast. What gear do we need?
Yeah.
What time slots do we need? Who do we need on the show? Blah, 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 blah. Who's doing our editing or blah, blah, blah. You get all that going and it builds the show. So then when the show is bubbling, then other people will see the show and be like, yo, I want to be on that.
Yeah.
And then your guests rise and
Yep.
rise and rise. You get bigger artists, South by Southwest or whatever comes, ACL, you get bigger interviews, bigger thing. You partner with other radio stations, other thing. You become that platform for artists. Because artists, we can do interviews on like big shows and all that, but we still want to talk to authentic folks who can really reach the core base of our fan base, not the ones who bought like the $800 tickets. We want the people who are up in the nosebleeds.
Yep.
And tell them like, I see you. I still see
Yep.
you.
Yep. Well, and it's
still
like
love what you're doing.
If you, as an artist, if you always like maintain that gratitude, like a vibe,
Yeah.
I think it's the right track. It's like
Yeah.
you'll stay on the good path, because
Exactly.
the bad path will be that one where you're like, I'm entitled to this,
Yeah.
and I like,
And
yeah,
you-
you're damn right. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And you get caught up in it. You know what I mean? Like, if you worked your whole life and you get a little whiff of success, you'll be like, man, I made it. Fuck everybody else. Like, I'm gonna ride this horse all the way to wherever, right? Like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? But when you're humble, and a lot of it is my upbringing from my parents. When you're humble with it, you're like, I do have friends that are just as talented. I can create other opportunities for other people. I can do, lecture and talk to younger artists and create grants and give out money and partner with other nonprofits to do things that I wish was around when I was younger, right?
Yep.
That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And I can sit around and like floss and, even when you see me out and about, right? Like, I'm not in the club like T-Double's here.
yeah.
Like, most time you don't even know I'm there. I'm like, yeah, like, I got a crew and all that. No, I'm usually by the bar, posted
Yeah.
up, just watching, just chilling.
And then Carlos calls your number, and you're
Yeah.
like,
T-Dub. But it's time to get busy.
and then it's game
Then the
face. dog.
bakery's open.
I think that's.
You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
The bakery's
The
open. baby.
bakery's open, dog.
I think too that's the
Fuck
key
yeah.
to longevity in the business. Because if you get your big break and then say fuck all to everybody else, that initial spark it's gonna die out, and then
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck at square one again.
Yeah.
I think of like Sandler and his movies and his friends as like a pretty good example of that, because
Yeah.
he's essentially got his own production house and
Yeah.
crew.
Because, and on that note, like, one thing I always tell people is like, when you talk to people about how they can start their career, what do they need? Most people usually say it takes money to make money. I don't have any money, so I can't. It takes relationships to sustain money.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the right relationships and you fall off, you can reach out to that person again and be like, yo, man, like, you got anything I could produce on? They got you a gig. You got anything? It's like if you're working, right? Like, you lose your job, somebody say, oh, we're hiring over here at Verizon. Come Monday, you got a job. Friends help friends.
Yep.
Because if I'm dealing with you just on a monetary thing and I give you 10,000 and you blow the 10,000, I'm done with you. Nothing beneficial came from that. But if we're friends and something happens to you, I care about you as a person. So I'm gonna make sure you try to get back on your feet and and get your thing going.
That can be difficult too, because there are definitely folks in the entertainment industry who recognize that as like the networking path, and it can feel very fake
Right.
and very, very transactional.
Yeah, that's why you like that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm real selective. Like, with the cats that I was helping make record deals and signing, these were people I knew as a kid, and we didn't have shit. We were like running around in the neighborhood, didn't have nothing, and I was always like, man, when I get on the Grammys, when I do this, I'm bringing. How you with your friends? When I become famous, everybody's coming with me, right? You say that as a kid. I was serious about it. So when that opportunity hit, I went to my same friends that I knew when I was young. It was like, hey, like Mirage, he was at Prairie View University. And I called him on the phone after I got my deal, and I said, you want to make a record? Early in the morning, he woke up and said, yeah. I said, all right, cool. Hung up. Had his contract to him by that night.
Yeah.
Done same deal. Like, everybody that I helped get a deal got the same deal as me, where they own their publishing. They own their artwork. I didn't alter the deals in any way. Everybody got the exact same thing.
And that's not just a money thing either of like, hell yeah, you're getting paid, I'm getting paid, awesome. Yeah. It's the action of saying like, hey, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for your support.
Yeah. And with
bring you with me.
the groups that I was in, like with Mirage, like when I got Mirage his deal, I produced half that record. I did all this stuff on this record. I got him the deal. I gave him 100% of his publishing and royalties. I didn't make no money off that record because I wanted him to take that money and create his label and create his first domino.
Yeah. I've also taken close note over the years of like, because you have ups and downs, dude,
Right.
you know, with it. And you always got to pay attention to who sticks with you on the downs because those are your people. Mm-hmm. You know, those are the people that are going to be there. Because like when you're on the up and up, yeah, of course, everybody's going to want to be like in a piece of it,
Everybody
dude.
rocking with you.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And it's like, but when you're on the low, it's like people are like, oh, but then the real ones, I consider myself to be. You saw me.
Real ones are appreciated.
Bro, like I was not in the best place just emotionally and crazy shit a year ago, and he knows. And it's like, bro, you things fall off, and you're like, all right. But then if those people come back, it's like I'm not necessarily gonna try to burn you, but like I know who you are now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now it's obvious.
Yeah.
You're a fair weather person.
Yeah. And that's usually a really small group of people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my friends that are my friends now, right? I've known since I was a youngster.
Yeah.
Same group has not changed. So when I'm out with them and we're hanging, we can laugh, we can insult each other, we can talk crazy, and you know they can hear my music and give me real honest feedback on it because they know I won't be like, what do you mean? It's like, you know, I got 2 Grammy nominations. That should be amazing to you. Whatever I make should be amazing. They'll be like, dude, that beat or that hook or I wouldn't play that or you know, work on this. You know, so I'm like, okay, let me go back and work on it, tweak it up, because you know that's the real demographic right there. Those are real folks. They'll tell me the truth.
Well, and you need that, dude. You need the people that are like going to be real with you about it, because
the ones that are in touch with reality.
Like as this city's gotten more LA, no offense, he moved here from there.
I know,
but I feel like it's lost some of that, you know, authenticity where
100%.
Yeah, you don't want to lose sight of the real, dude.
Yeah, because it just becomes to like, you know, everybody wants to be famous. You know, people move to Austin to this very day with their guitar. They think they're going to be next Stevie Ray Vaughan or Gary Clark or whatever. They move here. 3 months in, they're making your coffee. Or they're doing something else and they can't get a gig. Or they're out just playing for tip jars for the rest of their life till they're 60 in this city. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I get it. People move here and they want to be that thing. But, you know, there's so many other resources here to help you not fall into that trap. Mm-hmm. And artists need to like really, you know, closed mouths don't get fed. If you ask a question about how can I learn this, there's a place for that. You know, I'm also an advisory board member of Sonic Guild, and it used to be called Black Fret. And what we do is every year we give out about 20 grants to musicians. Some would be 20,000, some would be 10,000. So we'll give you a grant to put your album out, tour, whatever. You don't have to pay it back. It's just a Kickstarter for you to go get your thing on. So there's type of things. And we had Austin Music Foundation, which I was a part of before that, where we did the same thing. Mm-hmm. So there's been revenue generators in this town for musicians. So a lot of musicians who are like, I'm struggling so hard, whatever, it's kind of because you choose to, because you're not really reaching out about these other resources. Like there's free legal here. There's pro bono things. There's all these things that I wish was around when I got started, right? Who knows how further along I would be with those resources. But that stuff is here, so artists need to stop being like, I'm too cool for school.
Well, it's like I worry about the art. Yeah. You know, it's like, all right, stick to that. See how that works out for you.
And it is a mix of them just not going out and doing it, but also just not even knowing that that's a thing. Yeah. And that's going back to the trap in the system that's been in place for much longer of just trying to make it so artists need to rely on other institutions to be able to be successful.
Right. And, you know, that's one thing about this platform coming on here with y'all, man, is I can put that out there and be like, you know, artists, wake up. Like, that's why on my online, you know, on my socials, I'm always like, learn the business. Quit bullshit. Boo, 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 boo. Because people will listen to what I got to say, so why would I be on there all day talking about I'm the coolest? You know, I'll take some time and say, hey, do you own your shit? Yeah. What's your 5-year plan? What are you trying to achieve today? Just to make people think about it. You know what I mean? Because, like, nothing fell into my lap. I just busted my ass on it. I just worked really fucking hard on it. That's why I look at it in a whole different space.
When you ask young artists like that question is like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? How do they respond to that question usually?
Most don't even have an answer for what they're going to do in the next 6 months creatively. You know what I mean? I'm like, what's your long-term goal? I want maybe 20 more followers. Really? That's it. That's what you're aiming for. Like, come on, man. You got to. You don't want to tour. You don't want to. You don't want to do commercials. You don't like think bigger. And Austin can be like a silo where you just think Austin and you're not thinking there's a whole globe of shit popping.
Yeah.
And how to tap into all that and try to reach out to that. And that's why I try to get artists to think about like, yeah, you can do really like there's artists in Austin who are like nobody even cares about, but they're huge like in Brazil. They're huge over there. Like they're touring and they're doing great things.
They're going to their audience wherever it might be.
They're tapping in like, people who do a lot of stuff on YouTube and are monetizing their stuff and they can get X amount of data points. Find out who's watching your videos the most. Now start targeting them with videos and music, and you can really start chiseling. Which record labels used to do all that for you and just send you an invoice. Mm-hmm. Now you can really chisel out your career yourself.
You can sculpt it, make it your own unique.
You can be your own Picasso. With that
well,
shit.
this is a whole new world too. We're in with the shit because like with YouTube and with like all the ways, the channels of distribution that exist now, it's like you really can create a thing without 100%. Needing the larger 100%. Scale, support.
The other stuff, like I said, the other stuff is just vanity. It just you want to walk around and say, "I'm signed to Sony," or "I'm signed to the Orchard" under it, right? That's all you want to do is just be able to say that. But what is that really? Like, did that make you more money? Does that really build your career? Did that make something sustainable for your kids? Like when I got older and I had my publishing company going and I had my daughter, somebody was like, who I trusted in the industry was like, you know what? You should create a publishing company for your daughter. Right? And so when I get paid off my syncs and stuff, some of it would go into an account for her. Mm-hmm. And now she's about to be 23. So all these years she's just been sitting there. So now, books, cars, school, whatever, a lot of that is taken care of in that regards. So you just have people around you telling you how to better your business.
Yeah.
And it's there. You just got to listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes nobody's telling you directly.
Yeah.
But they're putting it into the universe and you're in that space. You just got to ear hustle and be like, oh, I didn't think of doing it that way.
And it doesn't make you less cool artistically to be savvy on the business side of things, bro.
At all.
Not at all.
I can still wrap circles around, most rappers I meet and out negotiate them and get a better deal.
Yeah.
If I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So I could out rap a rapper and then sign that rapper if I want to.
And get the better deal.
And get the better deal out of it.
Dude, and that's what I think the crux of it is like if you do this shit, you got to know that like this is a multifaceted game that requires your brain to use different things. Like, because I think there probably exists a field that's the creative field, right? And then there's also, and in some ways, those two fields come together even too with like freestyle because you're like there's a mechanism at play that like you have to have the right left brain, whatever you want to call it thing.
And you got to be, you got to be visible, right? Like you have to be on the scene to be seen, right? Like you really have to be out there getting your things on. Like, when I got the record I worked on, I got my Grammy nomination on. I was on Facebook all the time just posting me making beats. That's all I was, I was like, let me just post, right? I wasn't going to do a whole series on it, but I was bored. And this guy wrote me, and he was like, hey, my name is Kaz. I own this label called Taxi Records. We have a group called Sly and Robbie, right? Big reggae band, like legends, actually. And he was like, they like that beat. Can we send you a vocal to put over that beat and see what you do with it? He sent that to me. I knocked it out, sent it to him that night. He was like, we like that. Can you do that like 7 more times, right? In reggae, there's dub plates with different artists over the same beat. Yeah. Can you do that 7 more times to kind of change the beat up a little bit? I did that. And he was like, cool, we're going to add that to our new album. A few months later, they submitted it for the Grammys. A few months later after that, got a nomination. A few months later after that, I'm at the Grammys for the first time. Yeah. So it happened that quick just by being active on social media, like for free, just posting that people do every day. Yeah. And so as long as you're out there and the music is good, the quality is good as well, then like we said earlier, everything will come around to it.
Yeah. No.
All that through Facebook.
Through Facebook. In a matter of months.
Well, and it's you have to be putting, because like with this too, like we came in with this shit where I'm like, we got to do this once a week. Like we have to put out 1 episode a week. That we like non-negotiable. Right. And it's like some episodes, some weeks aren't what we thought they would be, or what like we get. You had like you were actually going to be here. We were going to get you last week. Yeah. And it just we had to kind of like call audible on it. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, but you just keep putting, you keep doing it, you keep making it, and it's like you don't stop.
Right.
And that's part of what makes having a partner with like this thing. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
no
an
matter what, we're gonna have
accountability
that.
thing.
Yeah.
And we can work from there because it's like you just putting it out. You were putting it out, bro. You were like, I don't. And that's with this. Like people are like, oh, I already have people say stuff about like, oh, monetize. I'm like, I'm not right now.
Right,
The
just
goal
bailing
is
it out.
good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
refine the content.
Yeah.
And then when people take notice of like, oh, that's cool, and like this episode, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro, this has been one of our, I would say one of our best episodes in terms of not just like almost like I would call this like a masterclass,
Yeah.
of how to just like handle your
How
shit.
to save your ass.
That will maybe that's the title of this one,
There
the
you go.
masterclass,
There you go.
because it's like,
Masterclass and saving your ass.
Yep.
bro.
Yep.
Facts. And I mean, like you have to be savvy, bro, because like out here, bro, I'm like you get taken advantage of, and if you let people just like, and if you don't stand up for your rights and what
100%.
like your creative artistic rights,
100%.
people will just take advantage of that shit.
Because in most cases, people will see your talent before you do. Right? So by the time you notice you're good, you're already caught up in some bad shit. Because they saw it first, right? That's why a lot of labels like signing young kids. They like signing a crisscross.
Yeah.
They like signing young guys because they're young, right? So I can sign you now, and then when you get really big and you realize I got you in a effed up contract, you can't do too much about it because you
Yeah.
signed it willingly, right? Not under distress.
Yeah.
You know, when I was at Arista, one thing we started doing, like probably around '99, was we started adding a clause in contracts called any future technologies that we'll take, you know, royalties from, mechanicals from, publishing from. There was no future technologies at that time that we could think of. And then when the internet and Spotify and all that started blowing up, that became the future technology. That's why a lot of artists get so
Fucking Lars.
That's why they get so little bit of money from that, because that clause was already embedded with their thing.
Yeah.
We just made the financial terms. It was in there. Any future technologies ... There was no money. Then when Spotify and all that hit, we said, let's just give them 0.0000000 a penny. And then you have, you know, the government is saying we're going to stop making pennies, right? How you going to get paid if they stop? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the metric that you're getting paid off, points on of a penny. Now the penny doesn't exist. So now you're 100% getting nothing. But that's
Yeah.
another, you know, I don't want to get too deep.
No.
But that's another thing about, you know, those services are cool. You know, if you want to be on those, you want to put that on your website, that I'm on Spotify, and put up your end of the year Spotify stuff. All that is cool. My Spotify end of year things are trash, right? Like I don't be having like 20 million listeners and all that.
Yeah.
But my stuff's in movies every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all about how you gauge your success and what you're looking for.
And like Breaking Bad will
Yeah.
continue to be binged by
Forever.
people.
Yeah.
forever.
Like I'll go back at some point, probably rewatch
Forever.
it. You know, it's like
Forever.
it's one of those, yeah.
Like
'Cause-
I watch it. Like sometimes, you know, I'll be at home and I'll just put Breaking Bad on and just loop it.
Yeah.
Make me about 20 cents. I just loop. I'll be like, you know, I'm kind of bored right now. I'll like,
I'll make some money.
because I got different TVs in the house. I'll put on like 3 different movies I'm in on each one and just like, let me make a quick dollar real quick. Let me make a little bit of change real quick.
Dude. But I mean, yeah, like that. To me, I heard on some interview somewhere, it was the dudes from it was Toto, the band Toto, and it was like some guy being interviewed on some like one of the guys in Toto, and he was on like a radio show or some shit, and he was like talking about like basically Africa just pays his rent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
if you do it right, you set yourself up, because now, bro, you're in the beautiful place, bro, where you can kind of you're kind of free to create and
100%.
pursue
100%.
projects that you want to do. Like today,
100%.
you're here because your schedule is open, and you're like, you know what, I want to go chill and
And I love
hang.
what y'all doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't go because, like, I'm invited. There's a lot of things I'm invited to that I don't go to.
Right.
Right? But I go because, you know what I mean? Cool with you. You were telling me about the idea. I was like, you know, bet. Like, I want to help something that's up and coming and
Yeah.
doing their thing. Like, I'm all about that. But I'm also weary of, like, the T-double name.
Yeah.
And I don't attach it to everything. Like, if I see somebody's podcast and their podcast is all about beefing and all that shit,
Yeah.
I don't go on there. I
Yeah.
Because that's not my bag.
I
That's not
think
what I
our
do.
philosophy here is like real talk.
Yeah.
And in the process of that, sometimes
Yeah.
it does turn into what could be considered, you know, because we've had a couple controversies, but I'm like, I know in the moment when we were having those conversations,
Right.
like, because people will go back and they'll be like, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yo, you're attaching too much to this thing that is not as big of a deal as you want it to be. Because people need to like make something out of things sometimes.
That's good. People like drama, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, you can have disagreements, you can have spirited debates. I'm all about that. You know what I mean? But like, I'll never get on like a podcast and be like, I don't like this rapper.
Yeah.
Because and I don't do, because I'm on MC myself. So if I talk about another rapper in a bad light, I'm also bringing down myself and the art form. And they already think hip hop is ghetto, violent, all that already.
Yeah.
So
it's also just bad business, bro. Like burning bridges with people is never good.
Yeah.
Like, if something doesn't work out on a certain thing, you got to be like, all right, like, and how do they approach it? Because, like, if like I came and like something didn't work out and it's like, okay, hey, let me like try to like see if we can recalibrate. And like, if you keep the like open attitude, I think people are like, hey, I'm understanding. Because like I haven't been perfect all the time,
right?
And I read people more of like, how do they show up over because sample size of how often, and then you can like I can see that because that was our word for this year, consistency. It was like because that shows up in whatever regard,
100%.
Of what you're doing.
Because I can meet artists, like I'll meet an artist and I'll do a lecture or something, and I'll say, okay, you need to do this, very simple things that you could do tonight. Sign up for your BMI, start finding a place to build your website. Simple stuff. Contact local radio, media, online, blogs, whatever. Simple stuff. I'll go meet that person in a couple of weeks. So, how did that go? I never got around to it. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. Most people are just standing in their own way.
Yeah, that's all. And when I meet art, I try to give them stuff that's free to do. Because that would be their next question, right? Well, how much is that to do that? Mm-hmm. So I X that out really quick. Mm-hmm.
That's an
excuse. You got a computer, you got a phone, you could do everything I'm about to tell you to do within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, you don't want this that bad.
Yeah.
And like I said, and that's just because that's how I came up with guys who were above me. They weren't like, take your time, T. Finish that rap when you want. They were like, dude, we got to put this out tomorrow. We need you to make, like Casanova, he had all this studio equipment, drum machines, everything. He had 2 of everything. And so when I first went to his house, I'm in high school. I first go over there. He's like, I'm about to go get something to eat. I'm probably going to be gone for like an hour. When I come back, I want 5 beats. I had never touched any of that equipment before in my life. I didn't even know how to turn it on. But I figured it out. I made 5 beats that were terrible. But the fact that I figured it out and started making those beats, he was like, okay, you can rock with us. Because he said he's had people over there who were like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, where's the power? I think he did this. I think, and I made those beats. He was like, okay,
bro,
you're down.
And little did you know, as that youngster, bro, like that was the test, right?
Yeah.
Like you didn't know that you were taking a test, and the what was made didn't matter.
Right.
The test wasn't about
it was
what
about
the beats sounded like.
Overcoming the challenge of
100%.
not knowing what you were doing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And so when I see artists now and I'm telling them to do the slightest of things, not even make me beats, not even learn a new tech, stuff you do every day. You're online every day posting about dumb shit every day. Take some of that time and sign up to BMI or ASCAP. Get your publishing ready. Because then they ask me about sync. You can only get paid off sync if you got BMI and all that for long term. You can get they can give you money up front.
Yeah.
But if you say, I don't want the money, I just want the publishing, they'll do that more.
Yeah.
Because they can save money to do other things. And like when you're doing sync with a TV show, they'll always try to give you the least amount of money, but the sync budget is usually as big as the leading actor. Because music in TV is the third actor on the set. Mm-hmm. It adds to whatever they're talking about. It adds the body to it, right?
It's
keeps
color.
It keeps the flow of the scene going.
Yeah.
So you negotiate it that way. And you know that every TV show, okay, like Breaking Bad, their budget for each episode might be like $5 million for music. Because CeeLo might want $1 million. So-and-so might want something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you go in there thinking that, okay, I'm not going to take $500 when you could obviously give me $30,000 right now on the low end.
Yeah.
You can't base it off your own wallet. You gotta see, one, what are you selling to, and how deep are their pockets.
And the more you do it, like the more I do it, the more I'm more savvier with the deals I can make and the tie-ins and the like. Okay, I'll give you a song for this particular TV show, at this price, but you also got to resync it for your next 3 seasons. So I can start making all types of deals. So I'm negotiating for the future right now.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, like that's one of those things where it's like, have the foresight as an artist to like, if you get to the place, first off, make sure you're ready. Like you said, like be ready. Like they come to you, hey, you've been putting this stuff out. We caught this. This is cool. Be ready. And then, but dude, don't necessarily think about the quick payday either, though, when you get there. Like maybe think about the long game and try to put yourself in a position where you can have that leverage
I understand,
to do that.
And I understand with artists, right? Like sometimes they might need that quick pay today.
Yeah.
Everybody's life moves different ways, right? But don't make that a habit. Don't take every quick check they give you as a habit. Like, okay, your rent's coming up right now and you're about to get kicked out. Okay, go ahead and take that $500.
Yeah.
Because that's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
That's a life raft.
Yeah.
But now you know. So now you know to kind of get your stuff together for the next time so then you can negotiate a better deal and do things better. So you have to, when I got in the sync, I never had to do that. Like, a lot of stuff happens in my career fast. I met this woman at South by Southwest. She did sample clearances for 50 Cent, Common, and all them. I approached her, and all the artists were at the day parties, drinking, eating hot dogs and shit. And so I'm at this sample panel. And I'm like, hey, I want to know about sync. She's like, I don't do that. I do sample clearances, but I have a friend who does. So then her friend called me and said, hey, my other friend said that, you want to get into sync. I said, well, I want to learn about it. I didn't know if I wanted to be in it, but just tell me how that works. It's interesting. And she said, how many albums do you have? At that time, I had like maybe 10 albums. She said, I'm going to send you a contract Friday. So I met the first lady on Wednesday, talked to her friend on Thursday, was signed in a sync deal on Friday. And none of them had heard my music. And then that following Tuesday, I got my first placement, which was like a Ford truck commercial in Africa or something. So it was like that quick. And they were already negotiating my deals with like first placement, here's a $10,000 Ford truck commercial.
Yeah. It's like some Bob Seger shit, bro.
Like, what?
Like, wait a
I'll
minute.
take that.
Like a rock.
Yeah, I'll take that. And then and that was a non-exclusive thing. So my first sync was non-exclusive.
Yeah.
Because you want to retain that music for years. For your kids' and grandkids. Like Quincy Jones, right? Like Ella Fitzgerald, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, all the records he's worked on, now it goes to his kids. Yeah. And that's going to continue to generate.
Well, because if you're thinking like that, you're like, yeah, like this, if I make great music, it's going to exist long out, like it'll be here after I'm gone. And somebody's going to, if it's great, because like obviously we all know anything cool will be exploited. Right. So if Led Zeppelin's catalog was sitting over here and we're post Robert Plant dies one day and like fuck yeah, I'll take that one. Like, so if you're not paying attention, your shit could be going where it should. It's like, it's it's not like mineral rights. It's like,
and teaching and like, if you're a big artist like that, like Led Zeppelin and all them, for them to teach their kids the importance of the catalog and the importance of the publishing. Because they might not be into music. They might not be music folks, but they understand the value of that asset.
Yeah.
So then they won't be like, we're not doing nothing with this. Let's go ahead and sell it to whomever for, whatever amount of money. We don't care.
Yeah.
And then it winds up in like Wonder Woman or something in a Marvel movie, and now it's making hella money, and the family's like, oh, that's what it does. So it's all about continuing education about that catalog.
And to all the too cool for school people, your art will be an asset, whether you want it to be or not. Yeah. And is it gonna be an asset for you and yours, or is it gonna be an asset for somebody that's?
I tell artists all the time, every song you make is a new brick in your Fort Knox of gold. It's up to you to see how much you want to build that up or how much you want to sell that off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I keep all mine. I'm building up all my assets. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give it away. I don't sell it. I don't renegotiate. I have my terms. So people who I do sync stuff with, they already know my terms. Like, I won't do stuff that's like in a beer commercial, because that's not what I do. I won't do stuff that's like, in cigarette commercials.
Yeah.
That's not what I do personally.
Yeah.
And so they know when they negotiating deals, they can kind of say yes on a deal because they know it already fits my criteria, what I'm looking for, as far as the publishing, as far as the shares, as far as the territory globally, all that. So they'll call me and be like, I just put your stuff in this. And that's how the Rick and Morty placement came about. I just happened to see it on my BMI statement. And I was like, Rick and Morty?
You're like, when did I agree to that?
When
like,
did that happen?
Yeah.
So I called him and I was like, what's up with that? She said, oh yeah, it was, it was a cartoon. I was like, I know what it is. She was like, yeah, they wanted to use the song. They heard it in Breaking Bad. And, I just thought it was a good deal. And she negotiated the deal the same as my other ones. Done deal.
And it's like the eyes that will forever be on Breaking Bad will be eyes that are, because it's not just the audience, it's critically, and everyone within the industry respects it as. So it's like when you see that and just the mere association. And like the crazy thing too, bro, is like nobody could have known, you never could have known in whatever 2010 or whatever that like it was going to be that
at all
either.
In the moment, you don't know.
I couldn't have known, like the song they used that I made in 2004, I made that at my mom's house in like 10 minutes. It was like a filler track. Like I never performed that song at all. I never talked about it. It was other songs on that album I was promoting. I didn't do nothing with that song in 2010.
If that isn't a lesson in, you never
know,
what you create. Just create without that. Don't put that shit on yourself. That self-limiting belief.
Yeah.
Because
if the music's good and it's authentic, somebody will hear it and be like, we could probably use that.
Yeah.
But if you go out to make it, like I meet a lot of people who want to do sync and they're like, I have this great song that I made for the Super Bowl. Well, it's not going to be in the Super Bowl because you specifically made it for that. So that's not how that works.
Exactly.
It's not how that works.
You had to have made it at your mom's house.
Exactly. Before you went and ate dinner, you were rushing. She was rushing me to finish that song. Time to eat. And I was like, boom, 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 boom. That's why when you hear the song, it's very sparse. Right? And I'm like, I'm just bringing it back. Just bringing it. And I put it on the album to her to get the album out. Because I was touring with Doug fucking Sapien, and that was the ESPN tour. So I was trying to finish up that album so I could do all that. And it was just a filler track. And that became one of my biggest syncs.
Yeah.
That I could still flip and flip and flip.
And that's why, you like also just like, sometimes you'll put something out and you'll already be telling yourself, nobody's going to like this or this isn't going to land or whatever. And it's like, if you take your mind out of that out of that space where you're just like, it is what it is, and it's like, okay, and then wait for it, and just like you said, like going in the authentic way and trusting that, because you got to stick to the thing 100%. That makes it the realness.
Like I make music that I would buy. You know what I mean? So I try to produce records. Like if I make a beat, if I'm at home and I make a beat and I make a track, because the way I work is in my studio, I make the beat and write the song at the same time. So I make the beat. I have a microphone right here. I make the beat, MPC, all my stuff there. Then when that's done, rewind, Pro Tools, lay the vocals, move on to the next song. I rarely listen back. I'm just like, done.
Just stream of conscious, like what I can get out now.
Done. So I just do it like that. And then when people hear it, they're like, I like that track. Okay, we want to put that in a movie, or we want to use that. And since I own all my stuff, sometimes they'll say, take the rap out, take the bass line out, do all these altering things to it, and I can do that. Whereas if you're in a band and you want to do sync, some artists come to me and they're in a band. I'm like, okay, they want the guitar lower. Okay, who owns that session? Who has that session to do that right now? Will the guitar player mind if you take the guitar player out of it? Right? Like, there needs to be somebody in the group who's your yes man, no man. Like, I'll give a piece of game right here. If you want to get in the sync, I recommend you look at shows you like, find the music supervisor at the end. They always tell you who does what. Find them on Instagram, X, whatever, and reach out to them. Like when I got my Westworld stuff, I did stuff for Westworld. And so you reach out to them and you're like, hey, I really like what you did in that particular movie, that one scene, bum. It was great. You're not selling yourself, you're not pushing yourself. You're just saying, that was awesome. People love that. They'll write you back and say, thank you. I appreciate that. And they might ask you, so what do you do? Like, whatever. And then you could be like, well, I produce as well. Would it be okay if I send you a link or something? You send them a link. Don't send them a file, because I get files and I'll never open a file. It's too fucking big for me to send me a link to send me somewhere else to check it out. And then you do that, and now you got a relationship with that particular person. So they might not like the first song you send, but they're willing to give you a second shot because of the way you introduced yourself. And you didn't come at them like, hey, man, I got the best song. My song should have been in Westworld, too. And blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? They'll be like, get the fuck out of here, right? Like, come on.
Yeah.
So watch TV shows that, like I say, this is easy work. Yeah.
It's about coming in at a human level.
Yeah, this is the easy stuff. Just find out who the music supervisors are of the shows you like. Like if you're looking at BMF, 50 Cent. If you're looking at, The Godfather of Harlem, Swiss Beats. You find these people and you just reach out to them and be like, yo, I really like what you did there. I produce. can I send you something for you to check it out? I produce, I write, I score, I do Foley's, I do all that. There's opportunity for you within that.
Yeah,
You just gotta do the work.
And the work too is like not forgetting the creation.
Yes.
Because like you're like I feel like a lot of people, it's like you gotta like learn how to like walk before you're gonna be able to run. So don't think you're gonna like go off and do these things until
Right.
you've figured out how to fucking put the
Right.
the one foot in front of the other enough that now you're getting that going. Because
that's,
it's like
that's why I tell artists the easy steps first. Like I'm giving them the basic, baby food.
yeah,
This is simple stuff.
like yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you watch TV anyway. You're watching movies anyway. You know the latest Netflix, whatever. Like just go to the end and be like, there's a music supervisor. Let me reach out to that person. Because once you get a placement, the livest shit is to, watch it all the way through or go straight to the end and be like, T-Double, written by, produced by, Kinetic, my song in the fuck. Like that's like the livest shit. Because then you're like, it makes you think about all that work that you've been doing your whole life to get to the moment where it's like, now it's on the big screen, or now it's on TV, or now it's on. But now you're like, let me move to the next thing. You don't rest on your laurels, like they say. You just don't rest on your real hot moment.
Yeah.
Like if I just sat on Breaking Bad, which is cool, it's dope, it's huge, but I'm like, what's next? What's my next thing I could do? What's the next thing?
yeah.
So I negotiate my deal so I can make that next thing happen. And then Rick and Morty pops off, and then Rick and Morty season 7, season 8, and all those other things. Like you got to get busy. You got to stay busy.
Well, dude, and like we just had our best month ever.
Yeah.
Like as far as just engagement with this. And, I told him I'm like, we're just in the early stage right now. This is like you're here with us. Like we see this big way so much bigger than where we are currently. Yeah, and it's like that's the belief system, and it's like I have because I'm like, yeah, you can't ever achieve anything great unless you believe that what you're doing is
100%.
is
Yeah,
good.
you have to be your own first fan.
100%.
Yeah.
You have to see it. You know what I mean? Like you already know what your end goal is. Your end goal is that fucking wall right there. You see it. You know where it is. Now, what are the steps you're going to take to get you closer to that? And you're going to have speed bumps. You're going to have diversions, but that's the goal. So just stay focused on reaching that.
Yeah.
And every time you do that, you'll hit that goal center target.
I like how you
Every
frame goals, because going back to what we said earlier about asking like newer artists, like, hey, what's your plan 5 years down the line? A lot will respond with, and I went to recording school and I definitely heard this a lot of, I want this.
Right.
I want this amount of money. I want this amount of followers, this amount of streams. But it's like, okay, that's not a goal. That's what you want.
Right.
I want $1 million too. I really want $1 million.
Right.
But what are you going to do to get there?
Exactly. And that's the part that's not sexy. Like I said, that's not the sexy part. So nobody wants to talk about that part. They want to, like when people see me, they be like, okay, T-Double, cover a chronicle, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But all the shit that I did prior to that,
Yeah.
when there wasn't a hip hop scene, when there wasn't any of this shit going on, there wasn't podcasts, there wasn't like, all that led up to being able to chill now. Now I can kind of chill and relax because I did all that prep work that I was ready when that moment hit. They was like, hey, T, we think it's your time up at the queue. I was ready for my shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and it's like, and you've built it over a period where you've made like great relationships too, bro. Because it's like that's as much about it. It's like the people you work with and those you're around, and bro, it's
it's been a blessing. You know what I mean? 'Cause like I can even say like I'm 52, right? So I've been doing music professionally, because they call you professionally once you start selling music, once you make $1. So probably 40 plus years in Austin doing music and making a living off of it. You know what I mean? Like
making a decent living off of it.
I used to, make fries at Shortstop. I used to work at Shortstop. I used to work in the mall, and when I was at Shortstop, even the manager at Shortstop, because he knew my father, he was like, "You got any hobbies? What do you like to do?" Because I was horrible at that goddamn job.
Yeah.
I never got off fries. Fries is your starter, but you move to like the burgers and the other section, right?
Yeah.
I never got off goddamn fries. He was like, find you something else to do. You got any hobbies? I'm like, I'm really into this music shit. Like, that's kind of where my heart is. He was like, your next check is going to be 2 checks in one. Go do that.
Yeah.
Go do that. Go do that. And I took that money and bought like some microphones and started building up the studio or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, man. So it's years of work, and I'm blessed to be able to still be at it and still be sharp and still be able to want to give the game to others. 'Cause there's other people who have done amazing things, but they don't want to share game because they feel like they're making their own competition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I educate you too much, you'll come take my spot and you'll become the next hot.
And what those people don't realize is when you're operating from that position of fear,
Yeah.
versus like, bitch, you fucking,
Right.
I ain't worried.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm gonna do what I do. You do what you do.
Exactly.
Doing dope shit is not a zero-sum game.
No.
Right?
Right.
There's enough room in this town.
100%.
Yeah.
In this world, everybody can go get busy and do their shit. Like that's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Like when I go somewhere and there's other rappers, I don't ever walk into a room or a cipher and be like, oh man, all these rappers. It's like, motherfucker, I'm T-double. Like I'm nice. Like
Yeah.
I already know I'm nice. I'm comfortable, very comfortable and confident in what I can do. So I can get on the mic anywhere, give my shit.
Yeah.
Like I think of in Purple Rain, the scene that always gives me is when Morris Day is walking down the street with Jerome, the guy who was driving his taxi in Purple Rain. And they're talking about Apollonia. And Jerome is telling Morris Day, hey, go find her, go chase her, go. And Morris Day say, I ain't chasing nobody. I'm the only star in this motherfucking town. The confidence of that, like, and keep in mind, in that movie, they're all fucking broke.
Yeah.
All broke.
Yeah.
Right? But his mindset already then was like,
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm doing cool
I don't
ass
need
shit.
that. I got my own
I'm doing
thing
cool
going.
shit. So you got to
Yeah.
think that, right? But you can't do it in an arrogant way. But you got to be able to pull that shit out your ass when it means something, right? So if somebody said, okay, let's battle. Let me
Yeah.
see how dope you are. You still got to be able to get up there and be
Yeah.
nice with your shit. And then when you're done, shake hands, hug, and tell them, hey, are you with BMI? Like, that's what I do. I rap with motherfuckers. And then I'm like, hey, do you have BMI? Do you own your shit? Like, I'll go straight
Yeah.
into that mode.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, I want everybody around me to be successful. I don't want
Yeah.
to be the only successful motherfucker. That's lame.
No.
I want everybody to be winning.
Yeah, because when we're winning, everyone's winning. Like I see that with my friends. Like
Yep.
their success. Like I'm like get to be like vicariously like enjoying it as their
100%.
friend, and like hell yeah, and like
100%.
dude, like having that mentality. That's bro more than anything. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the way. That's probably a big reason why you've been able to do what you've done.
Right.
Because you're like I'm not this. Like I said, this is not. You can't do this alone, and it's like if you approach things as like me first, and like I'm gonna get mine and all
Yeah,
that.
You're not just going after it for yourself.
Yeah,
You got the.
that's like the
community in
recipe
mind.
for yeah.
No, because you, like I said, you know, especially if you're in hip hop and you're in these under genres, you want to keep those genres flourishing. So you want to keep, encouraging the next group motivated so they can come out and keep the shit going.
Yeah.
Because once there's a generation gap, of a couple of generations, the scene is done.
Yeah.
Hip hop is, it'll be
Yeah.
done. So as long as I'm like, hey, stay on your shit, get your business right. Rock groups are doing this.
Yeah.
So and so are doing that. If you want to compete with them, make sure you have your shit together
Well,
too.
and it's also I think because you just care about hip hop as an art form.
Yeah.
And it's like it's bigger than just you. It's about hip hop and
100%.
the legacy and the future of the art form and keeping it like alive and thriving and under the right guidance of the
Yes.
the OGs exist for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are an OG, bro. And I know we're like probably close to out of time here. Do you have another podcast coming in here? Oh, 5. Okay, so we got. But yeah, so that's it, man. It's like that OG wisdom.
Yeah.
And then like passing that down. That's how. And it also it does the favor of to you. Because keeping hip hop and it's like thriving because like I said, there's different types.
Right.
There is garbage hip hop,
Right.
just like anything.
Right.
There's garbage
Right.
anything.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
yeah, you gotta.
And people want to, it's like another reason I'm still in the town and I'm still vocal and I'm still out because people need to, like hip hop, like, you got rock, right? And Austin and blues. Their superhero is Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
That's the superhero. He got a statue by the lake.
Yeah.
You have Willie Nelson. Hip hop really doesn't have a superhero they can look at and be like, we want to be like that dude.
Yeah.
But people see me and know that I'm from here. I'm from the soil. I didn't move here because my family moved here. I didn't move here for school. I didn't move. Wasn't raised here from somewhere. Like I'm from here.
Yeah.
That they really respect that and embrace that.
Yeah.
And know that I go to City Hall. I talk about pay for play. I talk about musicians' rights. And I'm not with a big ass crew, so I can speak more freely.
Yeah.
When you have a crew, what you say can have an effect on your other crew members.
Yeah.
So I hear what people say and what their grievances are, and then I become that voice piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's hard for people to come to me and be like, man, fuck T-Dub. Really? Like, you know, the Grammy nomination, like, I got the stats and the facts.
Yeah.
So I could talk shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I hear what people are saying. You know, what kind of grant would you like? What do we need to do better? What would be a good outlet for this? Even some stuff y'all are doing. Like, tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
And I can, like, connect dots and start plugging people in so everybody can, you know, grow and sustain and have a flourishing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah, man. Dude, that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's what we're here for. Bro, I feel like you probably wrap it up. Do you have anything? I got like personal shit I'm like still dealing with. I got to go take care of my car, unfortunately.
I know, that was wild.
I know, bro. I'm like, I was a little late today.
Yeah,
because of this.
And
I didn't want to bring it.
That's
It's another
life.
thing, dude. Taking personal shit when you're trying to create shit and just putting it out because it's not gonna. There's no, like, it can be difficult.
Yeah.
Because like I want to be free and creative and all that shit, and it's like you got all that shit with your
I got my own plumbing shit I'm dealing with at home. Fucking flooded my place yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
dude. But it's like the life shit hits, and it's like you stay on it with like. I'm so glad we talked to you today, man, because like I had no idea just to the degrees. I knew, but I'm like, it's almost like I just even the mere like who you fuck with, like I just know you're legit, you know. So, but at the same time, like I didn't know how legit, like like all these things. It's like that's
because there's some people, you know, there's some people around town where like they wear all their shit on the sleeve, right? Like I'm this. I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like. You know, 'cause there's people like who wouldn't even come to a Tuesday night. They think they're bigger than the night, right? Like I'm still in the trenches. I'm still out there. I'm still like
and honestly,
let's
to
do this
those
shit.
people, I say good because we don't want your negative ass energy out here
we
anyway.
want your ass anyway.
No, we want the roots of the community. That's what we need.
With your whole ass.
Yeah.
No, I mean it has to be. It has to be lift up each other and support like because we're all like Austin is like it's still that artist community. Like even though it's grown by leaps and bounds and it's this whole different thing now than it was in your when you were coming up. It's like in its heart, at its core, like I still think like
it's still the same character.
It's still here.
100%
It hasn't. LA won't get us, bro.
No.
We're not gonna let it.
That's why I moved here.
It's 100% the same thing, you know. And it just now, in order for musicians, and speaking as far as musicians, the only way for musicians to really sustain and get bigger is just to learn the business. That's the only thing they're not doing here. A lot of musicians will say, we don't have an infrastructure here. We don't have labels. We don't have publishers. You can get that anywhere. You can sign up online to give it
Do it
a publisher.
yourself.
You can do any of that, right? You just got to learn the business of ownership of your art. Because once you get that, anything else that happens, you're still in a controlling position.
Yeah.
Once you give up that control of that, you're at the mercy of whatever happens to you.
Yeah. And then that's where how you get
You're
fucked.
done.
Then you're stuck in that loop
Stuck
of
in
just
a
trying
rut.
to pay back.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you believe it, like you got to believe that what you're doing might be worth that because, you never, like you said, you never know. Whatever happens, you create it, and it's like maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. T-Dubs, thanks for coming on today, bro.
Man, for shizzle.
We really
Appreciate
appreciate you,
having
man.
you
Like
on.
seriously,
I'm glad to be here.
it's been a lot of fun, man. I'm like.
We've been talking about it, so I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah, dude. No, and I actually have some other cats. We had Kuda Brown. He's a different hip hop artist here locally on. I was like, man, it'd be fun, like some in the future, because we definitely love to have you back at some point, bro. Like with bringing in like he's like a different generation from you, but like to have some generational conversations. Like that. It's kind of with this guy because he and I are kind of
we totally love to do that.
Yeah, it keeps it where because I do believe with like him being like 23, it's like, yo, you're young, bro. But like I still think every generation has things to teach. Even the older generations like have stuff to learn.
Yeah, because everyone has different experiences and how the
100%.
world treats them.
Yeah. Even with me, like I don't know it all, and I'm still learning, and I'm still getting better with it each time I learn something new, and I take it all to heart. Right? I never sit and say I got it figured out. Because I've had a cool career. I don't have it figured out. Like there's so much more out there that I haven't even tapped into yet.
Yeah.
So when I meet new people and they say, have you tried? Did you know? I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Let me add that to my mix now.
Yeah.
Now I got something else in the bag, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we always learn. And I would love to do something like that, sit with younger artists and really exchange ideas. Because I think that helps kind of squash the idea of generational beef. Like
Yeah.
the older rappers don't like the younger rappers.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're not friends. We're not that. Like I support them 1,000%, and I want them to win.
Yeah.
But I want them to win the right way, not the super quick, fast way. I want them to think long game.
Yeah.
So-
And the real will be real. Like the
100%.
real, there's real in the young generation, and the old real recognizes
Yeah.
the young real.
Always.
Because real recognizes real.
Always, always,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah. So operating from that mindset, it's like, yeah, just don't worry about where just worry about creating good shit and coming from that place. And the
As long as
realness.
you're authentic with your art, that's the main thing. Just be authentic with your art and know how to own your art. And once you get those two things down, everything
Yeah.
else becomes simple, easy as hell.
Yeah.
You just keep creating how you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, think about when you made your first demo or you told your first joke and the vibe you have when you know your mom or your grandma laughed at your first joke and that initial feeling. Like, keep doing that.
Yeah.
Chase that.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what got you into it. That was
Yeah.
that authentic love at first. Everything else just becomes pressure. Like, now I got to
Yeah.
rap really good tonight.
Yeah.
Now I got to blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like, that's the unnecessary pressure you put on yourself where
Yeah.
you don't like.
And staying out of your own head and out of your own way.
Yeah.
Because like if you are able to step aside and just enjoy what you're doing and really harken back to that our first love, like everything else just falls into
Yeah.
place.
It just knowing that you're good already. You're good.
Yeah.
You're blessed. You can do what you can already do that.
Yeah.
Just
You have
everything
taste.
else. Yeah, you can already do that. Everything else is just stuff you kind of have to learn to balance that out.
Yeah.
But you already know, everything else you got done. Like you want to start a podcast. How do we do that?
Yeah.
What are the steps we need to do that?
Yeah.
Now let's do that. What
Well,
kind
and
of
this
guests
is
do we
like
want? What
I've
kind
gone
of
through
boom.
multiple iterations
Yeah.
of making mistakes
course
to
you
get
would.
here.
Of course you
This
would.
is like my fourth podcast.
Yeah,
So
of course you would.
I've had this fail quite a few times already.
And no one would work because I tried to do a podcast. I tried to do like a live streaming thing. It was called Live from Teetopia.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and I had like Matt Fink, who played keyboards for Prince, and I had quite a few people on there, but it just wasn't my thing, right? To always sit down with people and have those dialogues and do that. So as long as you're honest with yourself and don't try to do everything, because I'm able to say, you know what, that's fun, like podcasts are fun. Not for me. It's not
Yeah.
my thing to sit down and orchestrate and do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for other people, like for y'all, it's like, that's your bag.
Yeah.
So like once you know what you do, then you straight.
Yeah.
You straight. And just chisel out the other stuff that are like hobby type of shit. Like I can kind of rap, but you shouldn't be out nowhere really like doing a bunch of shows rapping. But this other thing you're really great at,
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. No,
know
for
what I'm
sure. Like, because it's
finding your main course.
Yep.
Yeah. And perfecting it and
yeah,
getting that craft.
Well,
down.
and take pride in what you're doing. I think because like part of what
Yeah.
I said to him like early on with this was like one thing I get told a lot about it is that we like the professional quality of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, because I already had to make the mistakes of not doing it like that,
Right.
And seeing what I think, and I'm not naming any names, but what I think ain't that great of shit, getting
Yeah.
a lot of like notice and going, you know what, like I feel like a big part of this if we get in the right place,
Yeah.
and then bring the right people in, which
Right.
today's the right people.
Yeah, it's the
and
first
it's like
impression
that
thing.
Yeah.
Now I have the ingredients for dope
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. And and what I can say about being here with, first time here is like the conversation is authentic. The conversation is free flowing. It's not contrived.
Yep.
Like we didn't say, okay, T, you're gonna come in and talk about
Yep.
boop, 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 like I do in some interviews, right? They're like just come in and hang.
Yeah.
And those are the best podcasts. Those are the best shows. Those are the best things, right? Because people just want to chill.
Yeah.
People don't want to be really, bullied and really yelled at, and they just want to chill. Like, what's going on today?
Yeah.
Today we're talking with blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And just let the conversation happen. And those are the best, because that's something I can sit around and listen to in the car.
Yeah.
And be like, and you guys have good voices. So if this was audio only, it'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, I wouldn't get annoyed hearing your voices.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a whole nother factor. But
No,
shit is
that's
dope.
also
You gotta
like the
think
stand up
about it.
world, I
Yeah.
think, for me for sure, because I'm
Yeah.
like part of like commanding the mic.
Yeah.
But like interesting you say that, because I was just talking to him earlier about like booking stuff and how because I was like telling him like because he doesn't really book, and I'm like, you can, bro, just like you need to know how to like come about this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because it's like my approach with people, especially for it's like cold booking, I don't even know this person.
Right.
It's just like, hey, you want to come hang? Because I'm like, I don't want it to be I don't want people to come in here. It's like, this isn't a like contrived show. We don't have a fucking outline. We're not on.
We don't know teleprompters.
I've tried, I've tried to do that in a podcast context.
Yeah.
For me, I don't work well under those constrictions, right? Like
100%.
I need more of a free flow type
100%.
situation, because if we're going to try to like turn this into a show, then it's like we're kind of morphing it into something that isn't even really a podcast. Because to me, a podcast is an unscripted conversation.
Yeah, you start overthinking it.
Yeah, and it's like, and I know like and you like we've hung out with dope people,
Right.
so like it's cool because there's like stories to tell, and part of him coming on, like me recognizing you, is like you grew up in a world like that too, where
Right.
it's like you've been around with a dad that's fucking his dad just won an Emmy, bro.
Nice.
Yeah,
last week.
dude. Yeah. But it's like that to me. It's like, yeah, like, so of course the types of conversations is like the hangout is always fun and interesting. And I'm like, like I said, dude, I've learned, I don't know about you, I've learned a fuck ton today in terms of just like, you've been gaining me, schooling me.
And it's crazy because it's like, I'm a hip hop cat, but I've been around so many crazy moments. And like, you know, next time I come out, you know, you remember when Matthew McConaughey got arrested, he was doing the bongo thing.
Yeah.
I was with him that night.
Dude, what? No shit. That's
Yeah,
fucking crazy,
I was
bro.
with him and I had just performed. I won't tell the whole story. I'll tell you that a little off air and then we'll get to it. But I was performing at Bob Popular, a club used to be called Bob Popular here. And I was opening up for Digital Underground. They were in town on like some reunion tour or something. And I've known Matthew. He used to be a bartender at this club called Catfish Station, which was a majority black club on 6th Street. So I've known him since then.
Wait,
And-
so you knew McConaughey when he worked as a bartender?
Yeah.
No
and,
shit.
And a door guy. And so he was at the side of the stage. He was like, T-Double. And I was like, what's up? And he was shooting that movie, that submarine movie, U5.
7-1.
That. And he had the script for it. So he was acting out the script. We went to his house and to be continued. But I was with him that night, and the Chronicle wrote about it. They were like, I don't know if you were under a rock, but Matthew McConaughey left Bob Popular with T-Double after having drinks and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it was a to be continued.
Fucking great, dude.
That's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like that artist where like you see people were like, you know how they're showing Ozzy Osbourne picture and he's like with Freddie Mercury. And you're like, when did that happen? And you see him over here like, when did that happen? Like that's like me. I mean like random places with different like actors and
Just in the background.
Bro.
crazy, just crazy.
Just always there.
And if you've been there, bro, like ultimately, like I always say this because if you're around bigger time people or whatever, just fucking act like you've been there before,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you know, like don't make it a bigger deal. Just be there and have and chill, because the hang is an art, dude.
Yeah.
And like being able to chill, to me, that's what I view podcasting as. Because people are like, "What's your podcast about?" It's like the hang.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that's what we're doing, and it's
Yeah.
like the hang with cool people.
Yeah.
Like I don't like and when of course when you do that, like cool shit happens, because
All
it's
the
like
time.
there's and in a town like Austin too, bro. I mean, there's just so many talented ass, multifaceted. I have friends that are singers. I have friends that are great guitar players. I have friends that are, you know, awesome hip hop artists. It's all over the map here, bro.
100%.
You know, it's like,
and it's not just what they do professionally or for work, but just like bringing in other aspects of like, hey, you might be, you know, a sick guitar player, but tell me about your Pokemon collection, sort of thing.
Like what I do, like when I see friends out and about, like, you know, they always want to talk music, right? But I'll be like, so how's your health?
yeah,
How's life?
Yeah.
Like I care about you as a person. The music is whatever.
yeah,
But how are you doing?
Yeah.
Because somebody can go somewhere and perform their ass off and be going through a real tough
how's the family?
time with something else. Tell me
Yeah.
about that. Because maybe you
Yeah.
just need a hug right now.
Yeah.
And nobody's even asking and inquiring.
Yeah.
So let me give you this hug real quick.
Yeah.
Now I go be a badass, whatever people know you as.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to do. I like, how are you feeling? Like, let's really talk and be real friends.
Right.
Right? You got a lot of associates,
Yeah,
but let's be real friends. Like,
yeah,
what's going on? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I love that part about it.
bro. And that's dope as fuck that you knew McConaughey way back in the day.
Yeah,
that's
I know
just
him
because you're
forever.
OG,
Yeah, I know
bro.
him forever, man.
Dude. We got, well, maybe next time you can bring Matt with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's have him roll through here.
I call him.
Fucking dude, that
I
guy's,
text him.
dude,
up.
I have people's number around town where I'm like, they're people I like, but I'm like, what am I gonna say? Like,
Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna text this person who's like dope as shit, and like, what do I say? I don't have.
You keep working hard till you become that number that people look at and be like, what the fuck can I say to this person? I know this cool ass mother. You become the cool ass
Fuck
person.
yeah, dude.
That's
Gotta
how
flip the
it
script-
goes.
flip the
Fuck
script,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, bro.
That's how it goes.
Well,
Dude, yeah, man. Well, hey, bro. I think we'll probably wrap it up. I'm gonna head over and get this car shit sorted out here.
this fixed, man.
Thanks again for coming on, bro.
Always.
We, I'm sure we'll have you back here at
Yeah.
some point, man. We're not going anywhere. So,
And I got more stories, man.
bro, I want to hear
love
more
to-
about this
I got some
McConaughey
stories
shit, bro.
about your
Talk some more.
favorites peoples.
You ever heard
Yeah.
of this?
Peace, bro.
You have. Listen.